of Pesach, Passover, and you started to say something about the final night of Passover.
Yeah, it's interesting that it says that on Shvi Shel Pesach we don't say Baruch Shehecheyanu because it's we're waiting for a higher level.
All the Jews were with Moses, and the Pharaoh's armies were chasing them, and then the Red Sea opened up, and the Jews walked through the Red Sea. So how does this all connect to this whole Corona thing? This is like a new spin on it this year. Is what? Like it's the world's kind of like some kind of, this Corona thing like blew the cover off of everyone's regular 9 to 5, right? The whole world's always like, that's what someone said. They said, okay, sometimes you have an epidemic in one country and the rest of the world's normal, but to have like the entire world, everything shutting down mostly all at once, something unusual. So it's like the whole world's kind of like going through this uncovering of like the regular 9 to 5. And everyone's like suddenly like, oh my gosh, what's going on? No one's quite sure what's going on. And then that's like a perfect kind of lead in for this whole like blowing the cover off the normal ocean. And then underneath we have like the secret life possibility, right? And then to bring it down to like new age possibilities, you know, every relationship we're in, we have like the ultimate relationship that could be there. And then we have like the regular 9 to 5, like what our relationship is like now, right? So that fits in with the Passover motif, and we've already attained our ultimate relationship. So usually you're laughing.
The ultimate relationship is the one that you're constantly uprooting and you're constantly outgrowing, in my opinion. So what was last year or last month, it's already old. We already need to recreate new. So to me, it's not, oh, we finally mastered. It's like the whole concept of Tai Chi also. You can never do the utmost. You can never master Tai Chi. Tai Chi is always mastering you, and always there's a different Tai Chi. Each person that practices, they feel, oh, it's a different, it's with a better twist, it's a deepening twist. So
yeah, and this Corona thing, it's kind of like, most people I know, they had their like plan for life, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second, is it ever going to be the same? And you know, it's like another parallel. Like people have their mastery, what I'm doing, my path, and all of a sudden, oh, you know, and everyone gets revealed that okay, you gotta be flexible, be fresh, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity. It says in Kabbalah, in Hasidut, that we all have 10 sfirot in us, 10, so to speak, powers, inner lights inside us. And the utmost light is Malchut, the level of our own kingship. We become our own king and queens. And what it connotes, what it implies, it says that we all are part of creation. We co-create with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with Hashem. So we become His partners. And I think when we get stuck in a zone of what we are required to do, what we have to do, what is required of us, what responsible is, etc., we kind of limit our creative powers. And I think in this time, all this knocks down and we regain that ability to tune in to our Malchut and to recreate our life.
Yeah.
To re-choose, so to speak. What is it that I truly want? Over here I was forced to be this way, and over here I could choose for myself. And I think it's an amazing opportunity to reshift through what I was obligated and had to do and must do and forced to do, and here I'm like, oh, I'm open to new possibilities.
Right. The whole world's going through a big reshifting. And I was telling you today when we went for a walk in the Shuk, the Shuk's very interesting, the main market in Jerusalem. It's very interesting during this Corona lockdown. It's a whole weird pandemic Shuk. So I was telling you, I was saying all the conspiracy theories going off the hook right now, because everyone's like, the world could just shut down a month. Maybe there is. Maybe the Illuminati really is in charge. Maybe the protocols of the elders of Zion, whatever. And I think I did a little too much research on all this conspiracy stuff. And I think on one level, it's true. There's forces. Like you were saying, there's like probably 50 families that basically run the world. So on one level, it's like, yeah, this proves that there's something going on behind the scenes we don't understand. But a smarter level is that God's behind all that. And,
yes.
God made the devil. God made all these weird secret societies. And, yeah, they exist and there's something to it. But even bigger thing, the shutdown shows that, okay, God's really in charge, whether you want him to be or not. Everyone gets like a reboot like a reboot right now, whether they want to or not, and we can either take it like a great reboot, or we can be like, boo-hoo, I can't do what I want all the time, you know. Yeah. What about my this? What about my that? You know.
So I think it's a choice to right now in this quiet time. It's like a world meditative time where we could slow down and choose for ourselves what is it that we want to live from and with, and what energies are we choosing for ourselves. So I think this is right now, this quiet time is not a slow down as a punishment. It's actually for a new life, for new creation, for new choices, for better choices. I think that's what we are invited to do right now, honestly.
Yeah, and
this whole concept of Mashiach is coming, you know, you could hear a lot around Passover time, Pesach time. Also, a lot of people have like confused messages. Mashiach, oh, it's about something bad is gonna happen. We're all gonna be killed. We're all like, we are only living life from God. God is the only source, and God only wants things to work for us. If there is some schmutz, as they say in Yiddish, He just helps us clean it. If there is some abstraction or some limitation that we created for ourselves, He helps us break through it.
Right, yeah, totally. What that opens us up to is that God's in charge, like we were saying, and like I was saying before, we don't really have a choice of whether we want God to be charged or not. And you and I talk about this all the time, about how like God made all the angels and God made all the weird secret societies and demonic stuff, and people can get all caught up in that, you know, and God made the 50 families or so that probably own most of the world, and people can get all caught up in that lower stuff, and it's all real, you know, it's all these really spiritual forces and strange things behind the scene. But this kind of situation, it can push us, it can force us to like only hold on to God. And I don't think it's such a bad thing that we contemplate that maybe the world could be destroyed. I don't think it's such a bad thing, because that also like frees us up to like oh, let's really try our best now, right? Like people are like, oh, God's not going to destroy the world, I'm fine, just, you know, something like this. And then our Rav was saying, okay, Corona's over now, but who knows, you know, but something's coming along next that if you're not on your toes is going to be more of a surprise, right? But I think that kind of healthy sense of fear is helpful. Like without that, it's kind of like everything's groovy and okay, we'll try our best, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. I think being free, really, honestly, is welcoming any possibility, including disasters, including increase of virus. It's being ready, knowing that behind it all is ultimate God that loves us all, that wants good for us, and just does a little cleansing here and there, helps us do the job that we were supposed to do. And if we stay put with that trust and that certainty that it's all for the good ultimately,
Yeah.
I think that's a true freedom. When we avoid and not think about bad things, I think bad is part of good. You know, the bad is actually part of good that is ultimately going to show up as good, but it's in a process of cleansing.
Right. When I used to be into Buddhism, we were constantly meditating on our death. That's like part of the thing, right? That's why I like that samurai movie I showed you the other night. It's all about just constantly meditating on your death. It was that movie called Ghost Dog. It was like the Wu-Tang Clan was behind it, and like that's like one of these things. It's like people would think, oh, that's weird. No, but if you start doing it, you realize it's so like good in a way. You start getting towards this place where you're like over it, and it's just one less thing to be like scared about, right? So the bad is good and the good is good. But like you always say, we gotta, you know, be careful not to meditate on something in the wrong direction, like takes us obsessively in the wrong place. You know, it's a Torah of life or a Torah of death.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we'll see you on the other side. We're gonna do our Tai Chi now, so we might do another video afterwards. But if we don't, we'll see you on the other side of Pesach.
Yes.
And what else?
And interestingly, it says that the sea was split, and we went in and went out on the same land. So we didn't cross the sea actually. It was only open in order for us to experience that sea opening and experience that God was in charge.
Oh yes, because we don't cross.
We didn't cross. We came in and we went out on the same piece of land. So God it was only for us to see and experience that what was concealed is right now due to be revealed and open and clear and known, etc. So let's tune into that opening and ability to know instead of don't know. Yeah.
I know the point I was before. I think a good metaphor for Mashiach is like soulmate, right? Like everyone who's single has their soulmate out there. They're out there. Like Rabbi Nachman says, he says, every single person in the world has their soulmate out there. Always. There's always one soulmate for you out there. And there could be a time when that soulmate, who it is, becomes a different person, right? Say Linda, and for from 20 to 25, Fred's her soulmate, and then from 25 to 30, Jim's her soulmate. But there's like some transition at some time, exactly, bloop, it switches. And Rabbi Nachman says most people average 7 soulmates, you know, maybe 5 for each year or something. So I think that's a good metaphor for Mashiach. Like, Mashiach's here for everyone now. In every generation, there's always one Mashiach. Undeniably, that's it. Of course, it's a debatable point, but after like bazillion hours of studying this, I don't think anyone can change my mind about that. And single people long for their soulmate, or they're like, oh, I don't know, you know, they can just sit on their chair. I don't know if he's out there, I don't know if she's out there, you know, and someone else can be like, I know he's out there, I know she's out there, and they'll do whatever possible to try to bring it, which obviously seems like a good idea if it's in Kalim, if it's not too crazy, right? So similarly with Mashiach, like Mashiach's here right now, as we speak, hearing these words, and we can do whatever possible to reveal him. Like, in other words, like elect enough people sort of elect him to come out, then he comes out. And if not, he dies, and then in the next generation, as soon as he dies, and there's another person who's like most qualified for it. So I think it's like a parallel. And you know, how much better if we do everything within our power. And I remember you are connected to the Shochet family in Chabad, and I remember hearing a lecture from Rav Emmanuel Shochet where he said, no one can stop the coming of Mashiach. No one can do anything to stop it. Mashiach's coming. That's how the system's set up. That's it. That's the brakes. But anyone can slow it down. Any single person on the planet can slow it down, right?
Yeah, it's an amazing point. I think also in Shidduchim I observe a lot. I've done Shidduchim in the past, and I've seen people how they go through their stages, dating people, choosing who to date, how long to date, etc. So or they pray. Let's say they pray because there is no soulmate. They pray because they are desperate, or they pray because they don't have. But keeping in mind what just Efraim said, pray celebrating and being grateful that he or she is there. So you're actually tuning into the happy part of the dating instead of unhappy part.
Yeah.
If you focus your attention during prayer, that I'm so happy to know from the sources that I have that there is my soulmate, and is also praying for me, and it's about, we're about to meet, and we are looking forward to meeting each other, etc., etc. So it's like focusing on a good side of Shidduchim, then it's like deprived, lack, not have, I probably don't deserve, I need to do something to deserve it, I'm probably not good enough. All those things slowing down the personal Mashiach.
Now, how many marriages have you made? You set up how many people?
I'm not supposed to be too proud.
It's not proud, she's practical. She's made 12 introductions of single people that ended up in 12 marriages.
Yes.
And she's available, we're available to help with this.
Yes.
And are you like on break during the Corona crisis?
No, I'm not on
so
break.
She does consulting. She does consulting online. I also do consulting online.
I think being married is more of a power to match people than being single. Single also could, but it's a completely different energy when you are as a couple helping than as individual. So reach out to us. We are open. We would like to help. And as I always say, it's not that I made Shidduchim. Shidduchim were done through me. It's such an open statement. I with each shidduch that I made, I openly saw it was done through me. God just picked me and said, "You're gonna play this role," and that's it.
Yeah, you showed me one today. The psychologist. You showed me.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. All right. So that's a wrap, right?
A good Yom Tov, and
Yom Tov.
everything should be cool.
Be in
Thank
touch,
you.
however we can help.